I'm Stewart Burkhalter, president of the Alabama AFL-CIO. I finished school in Childersburg, Alabama in 1954. Went to work at the paper mill, Kimberly-Clark Newsprint in Childersburg, Alabama in 1954, and I've been a union member for 56 years. Well, my dad was a union member. He worked on the railroad, and he, like I said, he was a sincere, dedicated union person. And after he left the railroad, he opened a barber shop, and he had the first union barber shop in Talladega County. And I walked the picket line with him, or for him, in the afternoons after I got out of school, and on Saturdays, because he had to cut hair to feed us. And that, I guess, was my first experience with being a union member. In 1969, I was elected shop steward of my shift at the paper mill where I worked. And several of my friends, after about 6 months, came to me and asked me if I would run for president. And I told them, sure, I would run. If they would get out and get me elected, I wouldn't go fight that battle by myself. So they did. I got elected, and I served as president from 1970 to 1985, when I was appointed secretary and treasurer of the Alabama AFL-CIO. And then in 1995, I was elected president of the Alabama AFL-CIO, and I currently hold that position now. When I went to work there in 1954, the hourly rate for hiring in was $1.26 an hour. That seems real low today, but at that time it was as good a job as you could have anywhere around. Paid good wages, paid good benefits. We had a Cadillac insurance plan, and we also, Kimberly-Clark has always promoted a good safety record, so we had a good safety program there that they pushed real hard. I think that one of my biggest failures, so to speak, was that when I was president of the local at the paper mill, I tried to get all three of the paper worker local unions to merge into one local union. I think it would have been beneficial for all, but I tried. It wasn't successful at that. Since I've left, they have merged into one local union, and I think they're all better off for that. One of my successes, I think, is moving the office from Birmingham to Montgomery. We had tried for many, many years to move it down here because this is where the action is, and you have your committee meetings here when the legislature's not in session. And if you go lobby the legislature, you need to be here. So in 2000, we were successful in moving the office to Montgomery. Well, I don't know how famous he is, but he's president of the coal miners, United Coal Miners. Cecil Roberts. He's a sincere, dedicated, hard-working guy that does a great job, and I just admire him because he's a great public speaker. He's dedicated to the members, and he just does an outstanding job, so I think that I admire him. And another guy that I have to appreciate is a guy by the name of Cliff King. He was the international president, not international president, international rep for me when I first got elected president of the local union, and I didn't know anything about what I was doing, and he guided me through those times, and I've always been appreciative of that. I guess one of the stories I have to tell is back when I was a kid smoking regular Camel cigarettes made by R.J. Reynolds, which is a non-union company. My dad was always a big union person, and he believed in buying union, and he always tried to get me to start smoking something that wasn't a scab cigarette. And I wouldn't do it because I love Camel cigarettes. They were the best cigarettes made, in my opinion. And when I got elected president, he told me one day, he said, well, son, I guess you'll quit smoking those scab cigarettes now. I said, no, Daddy, I like them. They're good. Best cigarette made. He said, well, it's going to be embarrassing when you go to a grievance meeting and you throw a pack of scab cigarettes up on the table. They go think you're not sincere about what you're trying to do. So I did change cigarettes. Well, the scab means that they're not union. You know, it's they don't belong to a union. I think the word got started years and years ago when somebody said crossing the picket line that that was just a scab of the earth. That it's where a union shop is there, or you don't really have to be a union shop. If a company goes on strike and they bust people in from somewhere else and they cross a picket line, once you cross a picket line, you're considered a scab, and a scab forever, you know. Well, I've been part of several mergers that that's been made over the last several years. I was in Denver, Colorado in '72 when the Pulp and Sulfite Union merged with paper makers. And then I was in Vegas, I think it was Vegas, when the paper workers merged with chemical workers. And then I was also in Vegas when the paper workers and steel workers merged. So I've been to several merger conventions, and I guess those would be the highlights. And if you want to talk about politics, you know, I think the highlight of my political activities was being in Denver when Obama made the acceptance speech. Well, it was just something that you can't really describe. And I've been to all the conventions since Atlanta in the early '80s or something. I've been to all of them. I think that one had the most energized group of people, and there's more excitement there than any that I've been to. And when you get 85,000 people in Mile High Stadium, you have a pretty electrifying crowd. I think that if you had something to tell the next generation, it would be to start buying American, start protecting your own job. Just because it may seem a little cheaper today, doesn't mean it's going to be cheaper in the long run. I think that foreign trade is going to be one of the things that we have to do to keep our jobs at home. If we go protect our future, we have to stop giving tax breaks to companies to go overseas and give them tax breaks to the people to keep their jobs here.